Hi, David from Guitarist here. I'm here with Alex Hutchins, who's going to take us through some of the patches on the new Boss SY-300 guitar synthesizer. Hello, Alex.
Hi, how's it going?
So, this one you can plug into with just an ordinary guitar jack lead.
Absolutely, yes, it's great. And you can also blend your standard pickups as well. So it really is a powerful unit.
Well, can we start off with you just showing us a couple of sounds?
Absolutely, here we go. There's a few for you.
Some of the modulation effects you're doing with that's an ordinary expression pedal, is it?
Absolutely, yeah. And basically when I was trying to make some of these patches, all I did simply, I was actually using the editor software, but maybe we can share that later. Mm-hmm. And I simply told the unit that when I'm raising the expression pedal to change the filtering, there's basically 3 oscillators inside.
Right.
And for example, if I go back to this sound here, I've got one in a low octave, one in the standard octave, and one in the higher octave.
Sure.
And I just simply told the editor to change the cutoff point. And as I move my foot, you can see it's even moving the parameters on screen. So that's what this sounds like. And it's just really expressive sound. If I go to the wave section now, you can see we've got our 3 oscillators here, and you simply select which one you want. So I can turn this off, and I've just got oscillator 1 working now. So that's my higher one, pitched 12 semitones higher. The middle one, really cool saw wave, and another saw wave here, tuned down 2 octaves. So I've got all 3 octaves playing at once. Then if I wanted to just add in my normal pickup, I can dial that in. And then if you wanted to, you can simply click your effects and modify them. You've got 4 different effects here. Effects 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so it's laid out pretty, logically. You've got your guitar in, you can process it with 3 oscillators, or 1 if you like, run it through your effects and out the other side. So this is a really nice way of getting the patches, and of course this is replicated inside the pedal as well.
So it's very guitarist friendly, really.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, okay. The other thing about the old guitar synthesizers was the tracking. Now, presumably, there's no problem because you're not talking about a sort of digital apparatus to get the your guitar signal into the unit in the first place.
That's right.
So can you just show us, maybe a couple of sort of fast licks so that we can watch the tracking?
I'll try. So here's just a basic lead tone. So I'll play a. So I'm playing pretty naturally,
Yeah.
It's really, really natural.
And it's 100% tracked, isn't it?
That's right.
And you could hear every note absolutely individually and everything.
Yeah.
What was the thing you were doing with one of the buttons on the front there?
Yeah, well, simply you've got a control switch here. You can use it in a few different ways. You can see that it says Control 2 and Control 3. If you like, if you're somebody that likes to use like one sound with lots of different variations, you can set the pedal up to give you 3 control pedals on your sound, and this is on and off here. When it comes out of the box, these are used to be patch up and down, so I like to keep it that way myself. So I'm using my Control 1 and the expression pedal to get the variations.
Right.
So simply I just ask Control 1 to change the pitch up an octave. So like this. Now the cool thing is, in recent years, Boss has come up with this feature called a rise and fall time, and it's basically allows the pedal, when you press the pedal, you can manipulate how quickly the effect comes in and out.
Right.
So what I've done is that with the pitch, I've just selected it so that it's got a slight whoom, kind of whatever that is.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, I could raise that time, so it'd be a gradual zzz, and I like that because instead of just an on and off pitch up 12, ding, 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 it sounds a bit more natural. So like, see, it's got a nice glissando. And that's fully programmable. And as I said, I was using the editor, which is very straightforward as well to get variation.
Yeah. So the other thing is, of course, it's totally polyphonic.
Yes, that's right.
So presumably it's got loads of sort of synth pad sounds in.
Yeah. There's some pad sounds in there. Let me see if I can give you a bit of a pad sound. Yeah, it's a nice soft kind of pad.
Beautiful.
And the other thing, actually, just to mention, is my guitar is plugged directly into the SY-300, but because we have a through plug, I've plugged it in to this amp modeler here, and so you can blend your normal pickup as well. So if I just get a clean sound for us on here, I can drag that into the mix like this. Get the gain back a little bit. See, so now I've got a bit of a pad and a clean sound. If I turn the unit off,
right,
and then I can obviously put a bit of distortion. So, and I get a little bit of a pad sound underneath. So that's a really nice way of using it as well.
Yeah. So in other words, a guitarist could use his regular amp.
Exactly.
And
indeed,
so
yeah.
you don't have to sort of suddenly turn into a keyboard player and start buying keyboard equipment and things like that.
No, absolutely. And I think that's a good way of looking at something like this. It should sit in your standard rig, and then you can use it as an addition. So it may be that on a gig, you use it for 2 or 3 songs, but it can just sit there comfortably, and you're using your Marshall stack or whatever you use on your gig, or Fender, DeVille, and it's sat there. And like I say, you can plug straight into this and run the through cable directly in the front of the amp, and just play like normal, you know, because it's through the standard jack cable.
And do you have to adapt your playing style at all? Have you found that you've had to make any changes in the way that you play?
No, actually, that's a good question, and I was so surprised myself when I first played it. The first impression is that it was just so natural, because I was quite anxious to find out how it played myself, and I was just genuinely surprised that it just works beautifully.
Right. Well, maybe I should have a go to see how idiot-proof it is in actual fact.
Absolutely.
That's another surprising thing. It tracks the whammy absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely perfectly. So if I... and...
So yeah, I'll just take you through a few more patches that I created
Sure.
myself. This is a kind of a drop tuning style thing. And then we've got a nice, that pad we said before. And this is a sound where it's using the LFOs, where it kind of pulsates. So even if you don't play so much, it can really make some sounds for you. This is an interesting one. It's like a kind of a dirty dubstep bass. Okay, this one is again using the control pedal to filter this time. As you mentioned, it's polyphonic. Here's some more sort of chords, and with the expression pedal, I'll be using some filtering as well. So you can see with the control pedal now, I'm bending it as if it was a keyboard.
Mm-hmm. And again, we should emphasize, I suppose, that all those parameters are completely controllable. So
Yeah.
if you wanted more of a pitch bend, you can
Exactly.
you can program it in and everything. And I mean, basically, it's easy to program. This is what we're saying.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, like I said, with anything, you know, you just need to spend a little time, because this is it's quite a new concept for guitarists, particularly that haven't used GK before. Obviously, you don't need it for this, but it's kind of entering that language where you just need to play around with the synth style sounds, you know, to really experiment. And for perhaps some of the younger generation as well, as we mentioned with the editor, this is a very familiar format to create sounds as well. So it's a real click and play kind of thing as well.
So this is very much a representative of a new generation of synthesizer. And it differs from the previous generations. How? I mean, in some respects, we know you needed a different pickup and all that sort of thing. What are the other differences?
Well, I think the other technology with the likes of the GR55 and the GP10, which came out last year, the GP10, they used the GK3, and the title given to that brand, if you like, of guitar synths is V guitar, so virtual guitar. And what that's doing is it gives you like pickup models, guitar models like Strats, Les Pauls and things, and variety of tunings. But this pedal isn't that. What this pedal is purely a synth engine that is controlled via your guitar, via a standard jack plug.
Right.
So it's really encouraging you to use your guitar in the standard way, as we mentioned, and to really blend synthesis into your sound. And so that's the real sort of difference between the two. So the GB10 and GR55, you can blend the virtual guitar world into it as well. You can do some pitch shifting with all the strings. So as you heard, there's a lot of bass sounds. I'm just going minus 12 or minus 24, and and everything in between. In fact, this sound is -4, so it's 4 semitones down. So the whole guitar can shift up and down like that.
Right.
So here's an example. So that's really tuned down 4 semitones. So there's a lot of flexibility in there.
Well, I'm sure the money shot, as it were, is really hearing it in context. So could you play us out with a few more
Yeah,
a few more sounds?
absolutely.